students, welcome back to the computer science class. So already we have started with the lesson operating system and GUI. So before going into the lesson, we have a small recap and move on to the next heading. What is operating system? It is a collection of software that manages the computer hardware resources and it provides common services for the computer programs. And this plays a vital component of a system software in a computer systems. And operating system, it is also acting as an interface between the computer user and the computer hardware. So an operating system, it is also doing some basic task like managing the file, managing the memory and processing all the datas and managing all the processes and handling the input and the output devices and controlling all the peripheral devices like disk drives, printers, etc. And also we have seen some of the examples of operating systems, some popular operating system like Linux, Windows, OS X, Android, Macintosh computer, etc. And I also told you the first GUI that was developed in 1970 by the company called Xerox Corporation. And although these GUIs did not become popular until the 1980s with the emergence of the Apple Macintosh computer. And in this session, we are going to see some of the types of operating systems. So, this operating systems usually comes preloaded on any computer, whatever you buy. But most of the people, what they usually do means they will use the operating system that comes along with their computer itself. Okay, but it's possible to upgrade or even change the operating system. If we want to change the operating system, we can also upgrade and we can also even change this operating system. And the three most common operating systems for all the personal computers whatever we have, they are Microsoft Windows, Mac OS X and Linux. Here in this picture you can see some of the types of operating systems like Windows, Windows X, Linux, Ubuntu, Mac OS, etc. So these are some of the examples of operating systems we have. And now comes the next heading, what is called UI. Here you have a question, what is UI? The full form of UI is user interface. So now we are going to see what is user interface. Okay, so as I said, UI means or also called as user interface. Here UI or simply an interface we can say, but this means a person controls a software application or the hardware devices. Okay, a person or a user, he can be in a situation of using all these software application on all the other hardware devices also. So that is called an user interface. Here a good user interface, it provides a user friendly experience and allowing the user to interact with the software or the other hardware in a natural way and in an easy way. So nearly all the software programs, they have an graphical user interface or GUI. I'll tell you detailed information about what is GUI and what is CUI later. And a user interface can be of CUI and of GUI. So it has two categories. CUI called character user interface or GUI called graphical user interface. Now here you have the expansion of what is CUI. CUI stands for character user interface. Now we are going to see what is called character user interface. So this means we have to take the help of the keyboard especially to type all types of commands to interact with the computer. In the olden days computer system, we were having the help of keyboard, we have to type each and every command what the user want to give the instructions to the computer. It is not in an icon form or not in an picturization form. In this picture you are seeing all a text forming or the letters formation. So this is an example of CUI interface. This is all full of commands only. With the help of keyboard we are going to type the commands whatever we are going to give the instructions to the computer. So you can only type text to give the commands to the computer. Okay, as in MS-DOS, this is an example of MS-DOS or the command prompt. Okay, there will be no images and there will be no graphics on the screen. This is full of text or full of commands only. Okay, and it is primitive type of interface. So in the beginning years, computers has to be operated through this interface only, and the user who have seen it, they says that they had to contact with a black screen with white text only. So the background screen will be in the black one, and where they can type the text alone. Okay, on those days of computer system, they were having this CUI type of interfaces only, called character user interface, and these CUIs have gradually become outdated with the more advanced GUI taking their place. So after later on so many years, this CUI, they become an outdated one, because they have a more advanced interface form that is called GUI, called graphical user interface. And with this we will complete this session, and on the other session we will move on to the heading and what is called GUI and what will be the difference between this GUI and CUI, and what are the advantages of using the GUI instead of CUI. Thank you all.